All right, welcome everybody. We are live here at Blowing Rock Draft House for this week's version of Bears Talk Live. We want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, J. Brown Realtors. We appreciate your support. Our first guest of the day is Bears Club President Bob Fincher. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to have you here, man. So how lucky is it for you to be able to work with me so closely?
It's the highlight of my life, generally.
I appreciate that. The feeling is mutual.
Most days.
Most days. Yeah, that's the key part of that sentence for sure. Well, Bob, I think most of our fan base, especially the people here, know who you are, know your story, your ties to Lenoir-Rhyne. But for those that may be watching that maybe don't know your background and how you got to become Bears Club president, will you tell folks kind of that path journey for yourself?
Yeah, just quickly. Way back when I was much younger, I actually sat on the wall watching football games between the bricks because my cousin Smith Sharp played here. He was an All-American here and also newly inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so I used to watch him play, and his family ties were here when I was being recruited to play football. So played football here in the late 90s and stuck around, and then made the mistake of asking Neil McGahee a question about the Bears Club one day, and then that suddenly volunteered me to sign up, and so that's how I've been involved ever since.
That's awesome, and you're also a standout football player while you were here.
Absolutely.
Standout.
I mean, a lot of statistics that are very, very hidden. I mean, it's kind of under the radar stuff, but a lot of records, many records, and
accolades.
Yeah, a lot of ribbons and stuff.
I love it. You're a Hall of Famer in my book. All right, can we tell folks, I think everyone's familiar with the Bears Club and the fact that we raise money for student-athlete scholarships, but you've been very intentional about getting the point across of what the actual mission of the Bears Club is in the long run and some of the things that you've personally wanted to emphasize during your tenure as Bears Club president. What some of the gains we've made with team builders, team giving in general. You want to talk about some of those things?
Yeah, I think we've seen a shift over the last couple of years with the Bears Club. What was predominantly known as more of a football club or sometimes basketball fundraising club, we've really tried to diversify and do everything we can to help all of our sports within the LR athletic department. And so over the last couple of years, we've implemented a program called Team Builders, where every sport has their own kind of fundraising arm, if you would. And that really allows us to be a support for all of our coaches, all of our staff, so that they can directly reach out to their friends of the program, to alumni supporters, to family, all those people that want to give directly to where their heart is. They can do that now a lot more freely, a lot more transparency about that. So thankful to have that on board.
No doubt, and obviously I think most of the people that join the Bears Club or give to a specific sport underlying in the Bears Club are doing it because they want to support student athletes and because it's a great opportunity to give back to their alma mater or the school in their community or whatever it is. But for those that might be curious about what are some of the benefits that you receive from joining the Bears Club, could you maybe fill the people in on some of those things as well?
Yeah, I think, first of all, our mission is to enhance the student-athlete experience across the board. And so no matter where you're giving, that's what your dollars are doing. And sometimes they're going specifically to a program to enhance those teams, whether it's like uniforms or facilities or whatever. I mean, we've seen just some remarkable headway being made, even in a time of challenging times with our athletic department. Some of the things that like the baseball team is doing right now, it just kind of blows me away. When you participate, whether it's through your team builder, through the particular sport that you want to support, or generally through the Bears Club, you get to be a part of that student-athlete experience. And so some of that comes with tickets to football games, and some of that comes with other enhancements based on whatever program you're supporting. But in general, our idea is we want you to give to where you can have the most impact. And so that's the primary reason that we want people involved.
Definitely, I agree. And talk about you grew up in the area, went to Lenoir-Rhyne, but you've seen a lot of different schools, especially in the last 2 years, from a close-up vision in our conference and in our region. Talk about how fortunate we are at Lenoir-Rhyne to have the community and have the alumni base that we have supporting us.
Well, I mean, I think it's unlike many others that we compete with, certainly. So to have this area, this community that reaches out so strongly for our student athletes, it really creates kind of a network. And that's one of the things I hope that we will continue to expand. Our role as the Bears Club is being even more of a resource directly with student athletes. I know Kim has put together the Leadership Academy for student athletes. And I think we'd like to see more involvement with whether it's alumni or through the Bears Club or through that program that she's already put together. How can we connect better with student athletes and really help them prepare for this next season of life, whatever that looks like after Lenoir-Rhyne? Because we're graduating not just great ball players and great athletes, but really great young men and women going out into the world, and we want to help them be as prepared as possible.
Of course, because then that generation is going to be more likely to do the same thing for the generations that come behind them.
Yep.
So I agree. I think that's very powerful. And this year's obviously been a very different year. You know, we obviously aren't playing football right now. We're getting ready to hopefully start basketball, but obviously the first little bit of the season probably is going to be with limited or no fans in the stands because it's an indoor venue. So and obviously in the fall we do our Hanley Painter Golf Tournament and our gala normally, which is mostly an auction that happens to be a nice social event. This year we've had to kind of call some audibles, so to speak, and right now we've got our Bears Club auction going on. It's online, it's all virtual. Talk about that and how people can make an impact and get involved with our auction right now.
Well, look, like everybody else, everyone's having to adjust to whatever this new environment is. I was having a conversation the other day. I don't think this COVID environment that we're in is any more challenging on anyone besides teachers and coaches. They've got to have the hardest job right now to navigate this environment. And so, you know, kudos to Lenoir-Rhyne and the way that they're handling everything and trying to keep all of our students and our faculty and staff safe. I think they're doing a tremendous job there. But it has caused us to change a lot of the way that we do things. So right now, you can go to lrbears.com and you can get on the website for the auction. There's some tremendous gifts and some really cool prizes. And I would say there's some great deals. I don't know that you necessarily need to go shop for deals. We're really trying to raise money for our athletic program, but there are some pretty tremendous opportunities. I've been keeping an eye on. I've already been outbid on several things, keeping an eye on some of the travel packages. There's a whole, like some of the low-hanging fruit is really kind of cool. We've got a lot of Kyle Duggar autographed prints and some other things like that. And so we have a couple of those. And so if that's something that people are interested in, I know he's been a little banged up recently. We're hoping he'll get back on the field this weekend. But the Kyle Duggar stuff is still available. So I would encourage people to go out there and pick some of that up. Yeah,
definitely. Like Bob said, lrbears.com/auction is the shortcut to get to that website. We've got some great items. And Bob and I were actually fortunate enough a few months ago to go down to Georgia and spend some time with Kyle Duggar and his family. And he was kind enough, with the Patriots' permission, to sign an abundance of items for us. Footballs, 11x14 action shots and still prints, you know, and helmets, New England Patriots helmets, and a few other things. So we're really thankful Kyle was willing to support us, and we hope that you guys will support back by buying some of those items. But Bob, I kind of wanted to talk about that too, because you know, you and I carpooled down there together along with Tanner Hardy from our football staff, and Kyle and his family were such gracious hosts to us. What was that experience like for you? Not only being a Bears and a Patriots fan, but also just getting to see kind of a little bit of inside look at how he grew up and his family and all that good stuff.
Yeah, he's a tremendous guy.
He is.
Kyle and I stay in touch now, and you know, to see he hasn't changed much at all. No. In fact, I was just listening the other day. There's a really cool podcast on Spotify that's kind of telling his story. And so we'll probably share a link to that soon, but a really great piece there. But he's always been very humble and very hungry, and he talks about in that podcast and some of the stuff he shared with us, he just works. I mean, he's kind of had his eye on this, and his family has rallied around him to support him, but he's had his eye on this objective for a long time, and he's done whatever it takes to make it work. So, and he's really a cool guy. In fact, my youngest daughter's in 4th grade, and they had a chance to do a school project to highlight someone that has either famous from North Carolina or is famous and they have some association with North Carolina, and to make a shadow box and a sweet potato project out of this. And so Claire wanted to do Kyle Duggar.
I love it.
And so they had a chance to FaceTime and send some videos back and forth.
Wow.
And so she was able to put a project together with him and find out a little bit more about him and that sort of thing. So
that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He is. He sure is. And obviously, like you said, the last 2 weeks he's been out with an ankle injury, but hoping he comes back this Sunday, if not next week. But we're really proud of Kyle and the way that he's been able to kind of keep that LR brand going strong in the NFL. And he's already been in the top 3 in the team in tackles a few weeks during the season already. So definitely very proud of Kyle. All right, Cars Plus Lenore, sponsored question for you, Bob. This is your last one, and I'll let you go. You're off the hook. All right, and you got to be honest. So if you blew a tire on the side of the road, would you know how to change it by yourself?
Yes.
Okay, I wouldn't.
I know.
You can, yeah, not a surprise there.
Did you know that a lot of cars now don't even have spare tires?
No, I didn't.
Because of people like you. You don't know how
I don't
to
know
change
much
tires.
about cars in general. I drive one. That's about as far as that knowledge goes.
Well, I just I don't know what's going to happen in the spring with football season, but is it true that we are going to be able to tailgate? Has that already been decided?
We are
because
definitely
there's a
going to
contingency of people that are.
Yeah, I was going to
really
ask you what
anxious
you
about
missed
that.
the most about football season, but I think I already knew the answer, and that's the tailgating aspect. Obviously, watching the young student athletes on the field getting better and representing Lenoir-Rhyne, but the tailgating.
Well, it's causing problems. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been kicked out of several places this fall trying to like. Andy Anderson, we just pulled up in front of Andy's house, and we're going to tailgate out there, and he ran us off.
That sounds like something Andy would do.
It was a random Saturday morning. He wasn't expecting it, but he made us leave, and so there's other places that we've been asked to leave when we just show up to try to tailgate because we have no place to go. So,
Andy, do you have any comment on that? Throw me under the bus. He's used to it. It's fine.
I've been thrown out of nicer places.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Okay.
We're definitely planning on having tailgating in the spring. It's just too early to tell, man. We're just excited to have some football games at home and be able to see all you guys again because it's been too long, man. It's been a weird fall. But we'll get back after it. That's for
It's
sure.
still great. I mean, I will say just Aaron and Kim and Leah and all of the staff with the athletic department are doing a great job. So for everybody who's tuning in and everyone who's out there, I just really encourage you. They're still working. The LR Bears Club is still working to try to support our student athletes. Just plug into it. Find a way to give. Find a way to be a part of what's going on. We really need your help.
Yep. Well, Leah doesn't work much, but Kim and we've been working a lot. That's for sure. Just kidding, Leah. All right, let's hear it for Bob Fincher, Bears Club president. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks
Thank you, Bob. You're good to go, man. And we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with head tennis coach Jesse Tarr.
What does unlimited mean to you? At Carolina West Wireless, it means unlimited media, unlimited fun, and unlimited access to our nationwide high-speed network. Sign up today for an unlimited data plan and pay just $35 per month per line for 4 lines. And we'll include hotspot and big-time savings on a new smartphone. Take $350 off the revolutionary new Samsung Galaxy S20 and get more out of your unlimited. Expect more, get more. Only from Carolina West Wireless.
And we're back live here, Bears Talk Live, Blowing Rock Draft House, presented by J. Brown Realtors. Here with head tennis coach Jesse Tarr. Coach Tarr, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you seem excited
I am excited.
and a little nervous.
I'm always nervous.
Is that because of me or is that the show?
It's you.
It's me. I figured as much. Well, let's get into things. So, Coach, I think just like Bob, I think most of our fan base and everybody knows who you are, but because of last season getting cut short a little bit, tell Bear Nation a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got here, what your coaching philosophy is. Give us a little background on you.
Yeah, no, was really excited last year. I got a late start. I was actually, my first day here was the first day of class. So
Oh, wow.
about as late as you
That's
can
right.
start. But I've been coaching since 2008. I played tennis at James Madison University and then just fell in love with the experience I got as a student athlete, personally, academically, and athletically, and knew I wanted to stay in it, and I can't get out of it. But I was at Boise State, and then William Mary, then UNC Charlotte and Queens, and the one job I was going to leave Queens for was this one. And obviously, it's a great school and a great program. But my wife also grew up here in Hickory, and her mom still lives here. Her brother lives here. They live very close to campus, and we now have a little crazy man running around. So it was kind of the perfect mix for us, and so couldn't be happier to be here.
Awesome, and we're lucky to have you, Coach, and we're glad that your family's awesome. Your son's adorable. Tell us a little bit about your coaching philosophy, and then obviously you can touch a little bit on last season. You guys had a lot of momentum. You guys were off to a great start. Obviously, with COVID and everything, things obviously didn't end the way we wanted them to. I think your sporting event, the tennis match we had on campus that Wednesday, was the last one we hosted before we got shut down the day after. So talk a little bit about what you saw from the team when things got started last year and how disappointing it was to have all that cut short.
Yeah, we won that, but who's counting?
You did.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yes, you did.
No, my coaching philosophy kind of goes back to what I was talking about is, I had an amazing experience personally, academically, and athletically in college, and in that order, and that doesn't minimize the tennis, but it just maximizes what we're really here for. But And I still have a great relationship with the coach I played for, and I try to replicate that for my players, right? I think you can have the marriage of all three. You can have great personal growth and develop, relationships of unusual depth that last a lifetime, while also doing well in school and professionally, and then also really work hard and win a lot of matches, hopefully.
Right.
Going back to last season, I think we had a lot of momentum. I was really happy. Our players welcomed me with open arms, and our women's team was ranked in the top 25 for the first time in program history.
Yep.
And Gemma, who was the highest ranked player in the conference, and we had a doubles team ranked in the top 10 in the region, and our men's team, I think, was right outside the top 25. Probably we're going to end up in the top 20, but I think both of our teams were on the verge of going to the NCAA tournament for the first time ever, and was really proud of our players, how they worked hard, but also how they understood why things got canceled, and they just said, hey, we're going to show up and we're going to be here next fall and we're going to work again. So
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good attitude to have. I always find this interesting, and I like to ask coaches that have to do this, talk about a little bit how recruiting is for you and what your method of recruiting is, because you've got to focus regionally and nationally, but then you've also got to focus internationally and get kids from overseas. How do you go about that process of finding the talent and then recruiting the talent to come here when obviously Lenoir-Rhyne doesn't have the resources as a Power 5 school does? How do you go about that? What's that process like?
Yeah, well, I think it all starts with kind of a personal connection, right? And it's finding the right fit. I always tell everyone and all the recruits that I don't care where you're from, or I just want to recruit good people and good players, right? And tennis is one of those sports that's so global that I would say the bulk of our recruiting is international, and most of it there are recruiting agencies and things like that, but a lot of it comes from the connections you have. There's a lot of people that I've grown to really have really good relationships with who played college tennis or who coach college tennis, who go back home, and you get to know them. They know some players, and you go through there, but then a lot of it's just research. It's just like you do in the United States, and I'm sure all the other coaches do, where you study results and you study tournaments and you find ways to get in touch with people and tell them who you are and learn who they are and hope it's a good fit and see what happens.
Right, yeah. Some of it comes down to chance, too, with some international kids, I assume.
Yeah, I think we have 13 different countries on our team. And,
wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then we have a lot of American kids, too, from all over the place, which is it's a really cool experience for everyone involved.
So expanding on that, talk about your current roster makeup a little bit more. I know you've got some newcomers. Obviously, you've got some great returners as well. Talk about the current roster and kind of how you forecast them looking in the spring as we get into actual competition.
Yeah, no, it's hard. You don't want to forecast wins and losses. I'm trying to win practice today, but
that's good.
Thank you.
I like that.
But look, we lost some seniors who contributed, but we returned a lot of our kind of core, right? But we also brought in some new players. Coach Weymouth, who is an amazing assistant coach, helped me. We brought in some new men and some new women, and I think we're going to be in the same position, right? I think our goal coming in was to be day in and day out competing for NCAA tournament berths, conference championships, and to be top 25, top 20 in the country, if not higher. And I on paper, we'll have the talent. Obviously there's some luck and health and some things going on that, but ultimately, just like I tell recruits and our players, that we can talk about rankings all we want, but we don't play with our rankings and we don't play with our mouths. We just go out there and play, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, win practice today. I like that. That's good.
I'm just trying to get through today.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. That's a good saying. So speaking of practice, obviously practicing and working out has been really the main thing that our teams have been allowed to do this semester. What have you seen so far that you've liked, maybe something you haven't liked, that anybody stood out to you so far? How's practice been so far this semester?
I think that's, I've told our players this a lot. I really couldn't be prouder, not to sound cliche or kind of cheesy, but, it's easy when you don't know if you're playing in the spring or we don't have any competition to kind of go on cruise control and do the bare minimum. And I would say our team did the exact opposite. I don't expect anything less, right? I expect them to do above and beyond, and we push them for that. But it's, that's a internal core thing that you have to make a decision that you're going to do it. And our players, they show up, they want to show up, they want to do individual workouts, they want to do extra running. So we look pretty good, for November. We're in November now. November, yes. Yeah. We look good in November. We'll see in January. But
that's right.
I'm excited. I think they've done a good job. We've improved as much as we can without outside competition, and a lot's going to be determined on what we do from here on out.
Sure, of course. All right, Coach, Cars Plus Lenoir. appreciate them as sponsors. Time for the same question, which is not fair because you get to hear it before you come
It's
on
100% no.
It's yes. All right, cool. I was hoping at least one person
I will
would
say this,
that
though.
today.
I did drive a van at a previous school, and the tire exploded, and I was able to drive it off the road safely.
Oh, wow, that's great. But then you weren't able to replace
No,
the tire.
I called multiple people to replace the tire.
Okay, like
Yeah.
AAA, that's what they're there for, right? That's kind of my stance on it.
Yeah, you're paying for it.
That's right. I love it. Okay, cool. Well, we're on the same page with that one. Cars Plus Lenoir question. Coach Tarr, we appreciate your time. Let's hear it for Coach Jesse Tarr, tennis coach. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with head women's basketball coach Grahm Smith.
Bear Nation.
You've done a great job in your efforts.
Protect our den.
Lenoir-Rhyne has less than 1% positive test rate for COVID cases.
We need you to help us finish strong.
There are just a few weeks left in the semester.
We're not letting our guard down in the fourth quarter.
In the 7th inning.
Make sure you mask up.
Mask up.
Mask up.
And
bear down.
All right, welcome back. We're here with our final guest of the day, Coach Grahm Smith, head women's basketball coach here at Lenoir-Rhyne. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Yeah, you. All right, yeah. The fans came for Coach Smith. I like that. How much did you pay the people to be here today?
Well, we're going to talk about that later.
Okay,
I don't
all
want
right.
to share that in the public right now.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I completely
that's
understand.
an office conversation.
Yeah, right. You are the first coach to be brought on twice.
Wow.
So how does that feel?
It feels great. I was actually surprised you guys brought me back, but I guess I
was too, to be honest.
performed well enough the first time, and round two, so here we go.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, Coach, one of the reasons we brought you back is we are getting closer to game day. Day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, we are getting closer to November 21st when we tip off against Queens. How excited are you guys, are you and the team, to hit the floor and finally face some other competition?
Yeah, we're really excited just to be the first team to actually come back and
Yes.
kind of get the season going. You know, we've been in practice now for 2 weeks as of today, so we're cruising right along, and we're excited to tip off the season. We're ready. We're ready.
I'm sure the girls are ready to play against someone other than themselves too.
Yeah,
right?
they are. I mean, obviously, you know, during the preseason, there's a lot of drills and
Yep.
skill work, and not a lot of contact and
Sure.
competition. And so we've been able to ease into that for the past 2.5, 3 weeks roughly, and we're ready to go. We're excited.
Awesome. And so we're still about 2 weeks out, a little over 2 weeks out from the first game. It kind of speaking a little bit to your mentality as a coach and preparedness, are you guys already focusing specifically on Queens, or are you guys still in the mode of focusing on running your offense, running your defense, getting your things right before then focusing on what Queens runs and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, right now we're still, installing our offense,
Gotcha.
our defensive principles and philosophy, working on us and things that we can control. Obviously, from a coaching standpoint, behind the scenes, we're looking at Queens already as far as their personnel and things there. They have a new staff there as well, so it's
True.
a lot of things will be different the way they run things this year. But right now, the biggest focus is on us, our offense, our defense, and just getting the best that we can be as a team and as a program.
And that makes sense because obviously mostly during a normal year, you probably only get 3 or 4 days of preparation, if that, between opponents. Is that kind of you guys, a lot of coaches will just say, we're going to always just focus on us. As long as we don't beat ourselves and we run our stuff correctly, it doesn't matter who we're playing, we're going to win. And then a lot of coaches you'll see are big on the film sessions with the team and, preparing for all the different offenses and defenses that the other team will run. Kind of where do you fall in that mix in terms of preparation?
Yeah, I think it depends on the personality of your team,
Okay.
with each individual on that team, because every team is different. Some teams can handle more, some teams can handle less, and so you got to figure out what works for each group every single year. Every single year is different.
Sure.
So for us right now, the major focus is just focus on what we can control, our execution offensively, defensively, and then as we approach Queens, get closer to that game date, we'll start, bringing in more film, obviously, talking about personnel, talking about breakdowns of how we're going to guard certain actions. But right now, the focus is big time on us.
Awesome. I like that. So, obviously, normally there's a non-conference slate. This year we're kind of jumping right into the SAC conference tournament, not tournament, but teams. How does that affect you guys, if at all? Like, does there need to be a different mentality of, hey, we've always got to be on? Kind of how do you see things being a little bit different, jumping right into conference instead of having a non-conference
Yeah,
schedule?
that's been our approach from day one, is really being consistent in everything that we do, with every practice, every drill, whether it's a shooting drill, defensive drill, offensive execution. The biggest thing is just being consistent with our energy and our focus with everything that we do, because we can't afford to come out not ready to play game one. It's not like, oh, this is our non-conference slate and we get a makeup. No, this is conference game day one. Now, the nice thing is that we actually do have a scrimmage set up before we play Queens,
Gotcha.
Which is great. So we actually get a chance to get on the court 3 days before, which is actually on that Wednesday. And so it kind of rolls into our conference schedule as far as Wednesdays and Saturdays. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Awesome. And you answered my next question a little bit already, but knowing that we're starting with SAC opponents, how important is it for us to get off to a really good start right at the start of the season coming into conference play?
It's extremely important because you're thrown right into it, to be honest with you. And one of our goals that we have for this year and every year moving forward is to protect the home court. We want to win every game in the shoe. And so that's a goal that we have. And so our first game is at home. Come out, set the tone, and start off on the right foot.
Awesome. So you're guaranteeing a win on November 21st then?
I'm not going to guarantee a win, not yet. But
that's smart.
I'm feeling confident with where we're at. I'm excited about it, and we're going to be prepared to win. That's for sure.
I just wanted to give you an opportunity to, just in case. You're really feeling it there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So tell us a little bit about, from what you know and what you've seen about the Lend a Paw Stuff the Shoe initiative that we've got going on, where people can give back to support a good cause, and also, in quotations, fill the shoe. So we have a crowd that night.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just having that support, everyone giving back. We want to make sure that we do the best that we can to get that out there as far as the Lend a Paw, fill the stands, have that support from a home court advantage. That's what we want, is to have a great home court advantage.
Definitely, and it's supporting a great cause as well. Going to support Make-A-Wish, and also we're going to donate all the stuffed animals that we raise that night as well to kids that need it. So it's a great cause, and hopefully it goes well. Great idea. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, Coach, one more question for you, and that is the same question I've given the other two. Do you know how to change a tire by yourself?
I definitely do, and I actually had the, experience or opportunity to do that a little over a year ago. I had a flat tire, and I had to change it, put the spare on, and then also repatched it myself as well. So definitely know what I'm doing there.
Wow, making me look bad, Coach. Yeah. Your wife is here. Is that true? Can you confirm that he can change a tire? Okay, all right, it's true then.
Yes,
some people just say things, That's great. I'm proud of you.
You were buying it though, right?
I was totally buying it. Can you teach me?
I definitely can.
Awesome, I appreciate that, Coach.
Sure.
That's what I like about you.
For sure.
All right, so we are going to wrap up here at the Draft House. We appreciate J. Brown Realtors for being our sponsor and the Draft House for being a great host. Two quick things to keep you guys in the loop on. The Lend a Paw I already mentioned. You can go online, lrbears.com/lendapaw to be a part of that initiative. And then the Bears Club auction with Bob Fincher talked about earlier, lrbears.com/auction is going on now through November 16th. And we would really appreciate your support, especially with some of those Kyle Duggar items. If you have any questions, call our office, and we'll be happy to take care of you. Until next Thursday, I'm Aaron Bessie, and this is head coach Grahm Smith. We appreciate you, and we will see you then. Go Bears.
Thanks. Go Bears.
That's right.